Good afternoon, everyone. How many of you here have ever seen a live mermaid? Or would like to see one? Yeah. So you're in for a treat today. So Aristide was just talking about the African manatee. And today, you get to witness a very rare footage of a mermaid. So did you know that Dugongs gave rise to the myth of mermaids? In this video, you can see a mermaid, a dugong, living its best life, swimming above a seagrass meadow, all those dark patches underneath a seagrass. So this is a cousin of the African manatee. It surfaces, takes a breath, and then it will dive down, and it can spend about 3 to 4 minutes feeding on seagrass, of which it needs about 40 to 50 kilograms of consumption a day. Dugongs are also known as sea cows, and they are one of the species that we study and work to protect in Malaysia, along with the Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins, also known as the pink dolphins. As you can see, they turn pink when they reach maturity. Indo-Pacific finless porpoises, Irrawaddy dolphins. Now, these dolphins are a little bit more peculiar. You can see that they lack a snout. They have a rounded head, as well as the majestic Bryde's whales, otherwise also known as Eden's whales. Now, apart from the fact that all these species I just showed you share the similarity of being mammals that live underwater and breathe air, right, making them marine mammals, what else? What is a similarity between all of them? The issue of bycatch, or rather accidental entanglement in fishing gear. Sorry, just going to make that video play. This is an incident last year where my team observed the accidental entanglement of an Indo-Pacific humpback dolphin. Now, luckily for this dolphin, the fisherman detected it in his net early enough that he could proceed to release it and set it free. But this is a problem that is prevalent all over the world with many whales, dolphins, porpoises, and even dugongs, whereby they often get accidentally caught in fishing nets. So this was the lucky day of that dolphin. It managed to be set free. But a little bit unfortunate for the fisherman, who told us afterwards that his net was damaged. Now, why is bycatch, or accidental entanglement in fishing gear, a problem for these marine mammals? A lot of it is due to our insatiable appetite for seafood all over the world. In fact, just further south from here, in the upper Gulf of California in Mexico, the vaquita, the world's smallest cetacean, and also currently the world's most threatened species of marine mammal, is threatened with extinction, with only about 10 individuals left in the wild. And what has caused its severe decline is due to bycatch in fishing gear. I wanted to show you this video as well, just to highlight, we're talking about coexistence today. And this video shows you a pod of Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins in our field site, just slowly swimming. They're all traveling along together. But you can see here that they're actually swimming past a fishing net. The green flag that you see in the video, that marks either the start or the end of a fishing net, a gill net. So in Malaysia, we have nets marked at the front and back of it with a flag. And you can also see in the background, there are smaller little flags. Basically, there were many nets in the water in this area. So these animals have to deal with swimming around in their habitat every day and learning how to dodge fishing nets. Imagine if you had to go through every day trying to get home or walking through your home and going through obstacle courses. That's pretty much how they have to live their lives every day. There are many, many nets in the sea these days to catch fish for us. Now, this group of dolphins were lucky that day that they were smart enough to avoid the nets and not be affected by it and swim along. But we know from over the years of chatting with local fishermen and local fishing communities that bycatch does occur in their fishing nets. And so, about a year ago, we had the opportunity to embark on a new project called the Cetacean Bycatch Mitigation Project. Okay, what you see before you here is a banana, the fruit, and a device we call the banana pinger. Can you tell which one is the fruit and which one is the device? Yeah, I think it's quite obvious. So how does this banana pinger work? Banana pingers are a device that emit a high-frequency sound, which is inaudible to us, inaudible to fishes, but audible to these marine mammals. And they are affixed on fishing nets to do two things. One is to alert the dolphins or porpoises that there is a net there, so please avoid. And at the same time, in avoiding it, it prevents these animals from getting entangled. At the same time, it also helps provide a win-win solution to the local fishermen, because then they don't have to get a dolphin stuck in their nets, and in the process of releasing it, whether dead or alive, they don't have to deal with their nets being damaged, which causes them money and time to fix. So what we have done with this program in the past year, our team members have gone out. We're focusing our efforts in a local state called Perak first, because these are trials, and they're being done in our country for the very first time. So it's very much trial and error. And our team goes out and talk to local fishermen and explaining to them about what these banana pingers are, what they can do. We're trying to understand how everybody is coping with bycatch, how much prevalence of bycatch there is in their fishing gear. We've run community workshops to promote the use of these devices. And of course, initially, the local fishermen were skeptical because they didn't think it would work. They were worried that it would affect their catch. They also were worried that it might be a trick to sort of penalize them if they got animals accidentally caught in their nets. But after some time of talking to them repeatedly and showing them examples of how this has worked in other parts of the world, we've managed to have 8 fishermen sign on with us over the last year, whereby we've distributed about 47 banana pingers and getting them to record for us what they observe, whether there's been any difference in their fish catch, whether there's been any difference in the occurrence of bycatch. And as of a couple of months ago in February, we've managed to recruit 8 more because it seems that these pingers are working positively for the fishermen, and by word of mouth, they are telling their peers, and more local fishermen want to try. Because initially, one fisherman was like, okay, I'll try. And his friend sitting next to him was like, let him try first. I'll see if it works, right? So we're very glad that more and more fishermen are being recruited, and we expect in this coming year for more fishermen to join the program as word spreads that it is pretty useful. This is just to show you what it looks like being installed on the nets. And these nets are really, really long, so they need quite a number of pingers, and we are currently working on acquiring more pingers so that we can distribute more to each fisherman. And the idea is that if it works, we want to scale it up to other fishing communities across the country, and if it doesn't work, then we want to find alternatives that would work. So what have we found so far? So far, we have found that the pingers appear to be effective on Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins. The fishermen are reporting that they don't get the dolphins approaching their nets anymore or stealing catch from their nets. They're not getting bycatch as much anymore. However, it does not seem to be effective for Indo-Pacific finless porpoises. We're investigating why. Is it a matter of numbers? We need to put more on the net. Is it a matter of the device doesn't work for these porpoises who have ultrasonic hearing range? Or what is it? So we're going to spend the next months investigating this, but also continue trialing the existing banana pingers in different ways to see whether it works. On top of running workshops to try and tell the local fishermen about these banana pingers and what it does, we also run workshops to help transfer information to them on how best to handle disentanglement of a dolphin from their net. And so we've done this workshop several times, and they've been received very positively by the local fishermen, and we hope to do more this year. So aside from the bycatch mitigation project that we do, at MareCet, we also do a lot of intensive scientific research. This is just an example of an infographic that we've produced from our decade-long research in the northwestern waters of Peninsular Malaysia. And the point here to be made is that we have managed to do intensive research that helps us, like in this example, identify important and core nursery grounds and feeding grounds of these dolphins up in this area, that then allows us to make recommendations to the government, the local government, our national government, decision makers, on what we need to consider to better manage and conserve these dolphin populations in that area, or in any area that we work. Other things that we do throughout the country is provide a lot of capacity building training for local communities. Yes, that's a dolphin that you see stranded on the beach. Yes, we were running a community's marine mammal stranding response workshop. So we needed someone to volunteer to be a dolphin, where we strapped on a fake dorsal fin on him, and he had to pretend to be stranded on the beach flapping around. So you can't see it in the photograph, but he's actually wearing snorkeling fins, so that's his tail. And he had to act distressed on the shores. And then we get people to role play what to do when there's a stranding of an animal, whether dead or alive. So we do a lot of this kind of capacity building training so that when an animal strands, the chances of its survival would be much higher because people will know what to do. We also have an extensive marine education and outreach program. What you see here is our whale truck, otherwise our program known as the Whales on the Wheels Mobile Marine Exhibition, which was actually inspired by the whale bus program of the Marine Mammal Center in Sausalito. And over the last 2 years, we managed to take this truck on a nationwide tour across the entire Peninsular Malaysia, reaching more than 20,000 visitors, children and adults alike. And we'll be doing more of it this year and targeting more local schools where we can bring the ocean to these schools. But in times when we are unable to bring the truck to the schools, we also run our Sea Science and Schools program, where we bring the ocean into the classroom of these kids. Now, you'd be surprised, many of these schools that we go to are actually in coastal communities. And even though many of these children were raised in and around the coastline, they don't actually know much about what's happening in their ocean backyard. So by running these programs, we try to give them a different infusion of knowledge from their typical everyday classroom learning, in the hopes that they can be more aware of what's in their backyard and to encourage them to be future or present and future ocean guardians. Other projects that we have embarked on are sometimes to provide local community children with learning spaces. So some years ago, for example, we built this little pavilion. In fact, it was designed by somebody from within this wonderful community of WCN supporters. And we built it over 3 weeks. And we built it for these kids in the village, where they now use it for after-school extracurricular activities, learning about birds, frogs, nature, photography, culture, etc. Yeah. And all the work that we do, all the science that we do, all the outreach that we do, isn't just confined to the field, isn't just confined to the general public. We also put a lot of the work, that our research findings, into policy advocacy. We have assisted by providing recommendations of our research findings to decision makers, suggesting areas that need to be considered for protection and how we can better protect it. For example, this is me briefing a group of government agencies whereby we are trying to establish speed limit zones in dolphin core habitat areas, in areas that we've identified as being important feeding and nursery grounds. So we're trying to come up with how to best establish speed limit zones and a good boating code of conduct. And we brief, from time to time, we will organize just meetings to present our work so that government agencies are in the know of what's happening. And if there's anything important that we need to propose, we will do it then. So for example, our work on dugongs, just going back to the dugongs that you saw in the first place, our work on dugongs for the last 10 years has actually acted as a catalyst for our government to take interest in wanting to gazette a dugong sanctuary in our field site. And we've been guiding that process over the past year. We've been in discussions with them, guiding the process on how big the sanctuary should be, what are the regulations that should go in, etc. And this is all based on all the research work and public outreach work that we've done. And I'm also very happy that local fishermen, as part of our bycatch mitigation program, are telling us that they can see the difference between using pingers and not using pingers, because their friends who are not using pingers are struggling with the use of, without using pingers. So it's all very encouraging that the program is showing positive impact. And so before I leave, I just wanted to show you that this is my team back in Malaysia. We're a small team, we're doing all this work, and we're very grateful for all the support that we've received through the WCN community and partner network. And I leave you with this short little video. When I was a little girl, I wanted to protect dolphins because this is how I imagined that their lives should be. They should always be living their best lives, swimming in the sea, wild and free. And the ocean sustains so much of life on Earth. Without a healthy ocean, it would be quite difficult for us as human beings. And dolphins and other marine mammals are actually indicators of the health of the seas. So ensuring their survival actually means that we are trying to ensure our own future here on this planet. So I invite all of you to join me and MareCet in this mission to safeguard our marine mammals. Come join us, come visit us in Malaysia. Happy to show you around. And together we can make this mission of protecting the ocean sentinels for a long time to come. So thank you.